Trump administration tariffs have dominated headlines lately. We are all caught in the middle of a trade war with China, and it's still unclear if and when any of these tariffs will go away. And today on Monday, tongue twister, Tori Dunlap, founder of Her First 100K, has some tips to prepare all of our finances as we are dealing with these tariffs. Tori, it's great to see you again.
Thank you. We were matching in blue today, which was not planned, but thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's great to see you. And we're going to start with talking about the unease that so many of us feel.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips on how to deal with uncertainty with our finances?
Yeah, I think, again, so many people think that money is about numbers, is about graphs and charts, and we've talked about before, it's really about your emotions. And I think especially during a moment like this, unease is probably the word that is describing everybody's feelings. So whether it's, anxiety, unease, just feeling very nervous about what the future holds, we have to work as much as we can to approach our financial decisions with a sense of calm, because the last thing I want you doing is making financial choices that you're not proud of because the stress has influenced you.
Okay, so don't panic.
As much as we can, yeah.
Let's talk about our household budgets. Are there any specific areas where we should be looking at those first or cutting back?
Yeah, I think that there's the balance right now where life feels really hard, so I want to spend more money, but at the same time, life feels really hard, so I can't spend money at all. So the focus with our spending should be making sure that we're prioritizing spending on things that we really love. And this is actually one of the only times I'll give this advice. I do recommend you actually cut anything discretionary right now, temporarily, so that we can contribute to an emergency fund if you don't have one already. If you do already have a little bit of an emergency fund, and we'll talk about that more in a second, then prioritize spending the money on the things that you really love. We want your money not going to, the kind of lukewarm things or the things you maybe feel like you should buy. We want your money going to the things that you actually love.
Okay. And on that note, if there's something you really love, what about the urge to stockpile and get things now before they go up in price?
I mean, we all remember the 2020 COVID craziness of going
the toilet paper?
Exactly, the toilet paper crisis, right? And I think especially right now, it's really important that we take a village mindset so that we don't stockpile and prevent somebody else from having what they need to. If you were going to plan on buying something already, right? If you need a new phone, great. But I see a lot of people going to Costco and buying a new TV and not really needing it. And this is not the time to just spend money on things because we think the price is going to go up unless you actually need them. Okay. Always make sure that you're taking stock of your money, that you're making smart spending choices. But again, we don't want to deprive somebody else of what they need.
What are things people can do to prepare?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is that emergency fund. So we're looking at an emergency fund of at least 3 months of living expenses in a high yield savings account. A high yield savings account is just like an everyday savings account, except it's going to earn you more in interest. And probably every Monday you're going to hear me talk about them because they're really powerful tools. And the other thing you can do, again, is you can set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account. Even if it's just a small amount of money, we want to build that up and cut our discretionary spending temporarily to build our savings.
Okay, great. So last week we actually heard from a small business owner, the owner of Chunks, and it's a very popular hair accessories brand.
I know them well.
Their products are made in China. She's really proud of that. And I want to share a clip from our interview on what she said. Take a listen.
I think it's just so unprecedented, and it's hard to wrap our minds around how much this could change everything. So we're just taking it one day at a time.
Do you have any advice for small business owners dealing with tariffs right now?
I mean, I'm a small business owner here in Seattle as well. I'm lucky where my business is more digital than somebody like hers, where it's a physical good. I think an emergency fund, both as an individual but especially as a business owner, is really important. And also communicating very openly with your customers. I'm seeing a lot of businesses do this, where they're saying, hey, we might have to increase our prices, and it's not something we want to do, but something we're kind of being forced to do in order to keep afloat and keep sustained. So I think vulnerability and honesty as a business owner is really important. And then just knowing your numbers really well. Having that emergency fund in place, both your personal emergency fund as well as a business, reserve stockpile in that way, I think is really, really helpful right now.
And I know we can talk about this much more at a different time, but
Yeah.
is this the right time to maybe renegotiate with manufacturers or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I love that suggestion. And again, I think being open and honest about where you're at as a business owner of, hey, everything's gotten more expensive, both communicating with consumers, but also with the folks you're dealing with on, the kind of back end to determine how can we make this more affordable, especially if you're a small business just trying to survive right now.
Great. Tori, thank you so much for being here. As always, we love hearing your tips, both for personal reasons and for business, and this is great. So we love having you here.
I appreciate you having me back. Thank you.
And in case you missed it last week, I just want to remind all of our viewers that Tori will be joining us every Monday. So send in your money questions for her to 206-448-4545. We will work to answer them each week here on air for Money Mondays. I gotta